welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sam, and welcome to the most controversial book video that I have ever made. There are a lot of opinions in the bookish world, and some people feel very, very strongly about some of their bookish opinions. So I decided to throw out my unpopular opinions into the internet and see what happens. And this video idea it came to me from a Reddit thread that I was reading about unpopular bookish opinions, and that thread made me irrationally angry. And just the judgment on that thread and the rudeness of some people and the pretentiousness really just it fueled rage inside of me. So we are going to take that rage and we are going to thrust it onto this channel and make a controversial video and see what happens. So, I do have a disclaimer. I will under no circumstances be arguing with you in the comments. You are entitled to your opinion, as am I. You are entitled to leave your opinion in my comments. By all means, I would love to know your opinions, but I'm not going to argue with you about it. And if you're rude, I'm just going to not engage. So, there's that. But I have 12 bookish, controversial, unpopular opinions to talk about. And I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm also kind of excited. So, let's just jump right into it. But before we jump into the controversy, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon will notify you when I post. And hopefully you don't hate me by the end of this video. Let's go. Controversial opinion number 1. There are definitely people out there that agree with me on this, but there are also a lot of people that don't. So my first controversial opinion is that sometimes the movie or TV show is better than the book. Examples. Heartland. Love the TV show. I even like the books. Like, the books are good, but the TV show is phenomenal. The TV show took the concept of the books and absolutely ran with it, and I adore it. Second example, almost anything Nicholas Sparks. I think the only exception is The Best of Me. I did like the book better in that scenario, but everything else, movie was better. It just was. Controversial opinion number 2. Books do not have to be well written to be enjoyable or to be a good story. Case in point, Twilight. Is it well written? A lot of people say no. Is it a good story? Yes. Yes, it is. That is why people enjoy it, because it is a good story. A lot of fan fiction does this, and that might be why I have this opinion, because I have read so much fan fiction in my life. I can overlook a lot of things for a good story. I can overlook a lot of things for a good romance. If we're being honest. I can overlook a lot of things for a cute romance. Grammatical errors don't generally bother me unless they're so much that they become distracting. That's the number one complaint I hear about, like, Blood and Ash, that they're, like, not super well edited. I have never noticed. I have seen a typo or two here or there, a misspelled word, whatever. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. I don't care. At all. So, there's that. In my opinion, you can enjoy a book even if it's not written like literature. Controversial opinion number 3. I wish authors would stop writing spin-offs because I usually hate them, and most of the time I don't want to read them. Examples. Trials of Apollo. That series should have died a long time ago. Percy Jackson was phenomenal. Heroes of Olympus was great. Trials of Apollo ruined everything, and I only got through 2 books. Nope. No thank you. Other examples. Another example, y'all know how much I love Outlander. I adore Outlander. It is my favorite book ever written. Jamie is literally perfection in human form. I have never read the John Grey books. I don't really care to ever read the John Grey books. I don't care about John Grey. He's not Jamie. I have no interest. Third example, The Selection. Loved it. First trilogy, great. The spinoff with their daughter, not good. Controversial opinion number 4. This is a good book. It does everything that it is supposed to do. For those of you who don't know, this is the novella in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. So this is set after the series. Like, you have the 3 main books of the series, and then this is book 3.5, which comes before the Nesta book. A Court of Silver Flames. A Court of Silver Flames. And it is basically just a bridge between the original series and the plot of the next book and what will come after that. And the number one complaint I always see about it is that there's no plot and it's just fluffy and it's boring. Yes, yes, and no. There's no plot. There's not supposed to be. Yes, it's fluffy. That's the point. And no, it's not boring. No, it's not. Some of my favorite scenes of the entire series are in this book. So I loved it and will continue to love it and will continue to reread it when I just want to be happy. Controversial opinion number 5. Reading should be fun. You are not required to learn something with every book that you read. You are not required to challenge yourself with any or every book that you read at all. If you want to just read YA, read just YA. If you want to just read smutty alien romance, by all means, go for it. Please do. You do not have to read War and Peace and Anna Karenina and whatever else highbrow people think is good. You don't. Read whatever you want. Controversial opinion number 6. YA should not have smut in it. Full stop. Fade to Black is okay. Fade to Black is fine. And I don't say this like obvious. I feel like I'm going to get some pushback here with 2 types of people. People that are very much against any type of censorship, and adults who read YA but want smut. And I have solutions to that. So first, why I have this opinion. I was a teenager once, as were we all. I was 15 or 16 about 10 years ago. And I remember 2 or 3 different books that I picked up that had smut in them. And I was not at an age where I was ready for that. I was uncomfortable with that. I wasn't interested in reading about that. And I ended up not finishing those books, and it kind of ruined them for me. And it gave me kind of a fear of picking up new books just in case there was content in it that I just wasn't ready for yet. And I don't think that's fair to teenagers to be throwing all of this smut at them when they're not ready for it yet. And I'm well aware some teenagers are ready for it. But if we're not gonna have content warnings, I just don't think, I mean, and also, no, I'm gonna stand by my opinion on that. My other thing is with adults who read YA but want smut in it. Do you really want to read about 16-year-olds in smut scenes? Like, do you really? Or do you want books that read like YA but feature older characters, aka new adult books? Because that is what I think the solution is. And that is my controversial opinion number 7. Number 7, new adult should be its own age range. And I will get pushback from this, pushback on this from anybody in like the publishing industry or even libraries, honestly. Most of BookTube I feel like agrees on this though, but new adult should be its own age range because that's what people are looking for right now. They want books that read like YA but have smut. And adding that smut to YA is not the solution. It's not. It would pull a lot of female authors who get shoved into YA out into new adult, which I think would be great. Kingdom of the Wicked should have never been marketed as young adult. It's not. I mean, the first book, maybe, but the next 2, absolutely not. Sarah J. Maas also should have never been marketed as YA at all. Throne of Glass I can see up until a certain point, but her other series, absolutely not. ACOTAR should have never been in the YA section. But these female authors specifically are getting shoved into YA, and I don't think that's fair. And I think the solution is that we need a new adult genre. Age group, not genre. But that's that. Controversial opinion number 8. This book is boring and I hated it. And I will not be elaborating on that. Y'all have actually heard me talk about this before, so this one shouldn't really come as a surprise. So I'm really, really sorry if this is your favorite book. If this is your favorite book, or if you like this book, or if you love this book, that is phenomenal. That is fantastic. I am so glad you like this book. I personally did not, and I'm not sorry about it. Controversial opinion number 9. People who look down on other people for not reading highbrow literature are the worst kinds of people. Like, y'all are just horrible people. Sorry, not sorry. I hate the word highbrow in general. That word just... Whenever I hear that word, I just start to get like boiling hot rage because anybody who uses the word highbrow is usually using it in a very condescending manner. Like, I had somebody comment on one of my videos that, I think it was a bookshelf tour, that I read a lot, but I don't read anything highbrow, so it's not really worthy and I can't call myself a reader. That is crap. I also saw on that Reddit thread that made me so angry, this person who said they were embarrassed to buy fluff books because they didn't want other people to judge their intellect. First of all, why are we judging people's intellect based on what books they're enjoying reading? Like, what? Like, I have the same English lit degree as the people in my college who only read classics. Like, we have the same degree, and I am reading fairy smut and they are reading War and Peace, and I think one of us is having a better time, and I don't think it's them. I don't understand the pretentiousness of certain parts of the bookish community. I don't understand being rude to people just because you don't read what they read or because they don't read what you think they should be reading. I don't get it. I like, why? Why are we being mean? Just in general is my first question. Why do we care so much about what other people are reading? Why do we care so much about what other people think of what we're reading? I mean, I put my reading out on the internet. Like, I read Ice Planet Barbarians and talked about it on this channel. Like, I have no shame. And I don't understand why other people do. Controversial book opinion number 10 is definitely going to make some people angry, and that is that I often read the last page of a book before I read the book. And I do this for a very specific reason. If you have been on this channel for any length of time, y'all know I do not do tragic endings, specifically in romance. I don't do this in thrillers. Like, I don't read the last page of a thriller. I don't want to know what happens in a thriller. But if there's a romance, or if it's like a book with romance in it, I always read the last page because I have to know that they end up together in the end. And that it's a happy ending. Because if it's not, I'm not gonna read it. So, there's that. I do try to do it without spoiling as much as possible, which is why I don't do it for thrillers. But yeah, that's a thing that I do. Controversial book opinion number 11. Not remembering the details of a book that you read doesn't mean you're a bad reader, or that you didn't engage with the text, or that you skimmed it. It doesn't mean any of those things. Some people just don't have a great memory. I am one of those people, and so I know people are going to come at me and be like, well, of course you don't think that because you don't remember anything you read. Like, yes, I am aware of that. I wish I remembered things that I read. I have not always read 100 books a year. I have gone through times where I only read, 1 or 2 books in a month. I still don't remember what was in those books. Like, I just don't. I am a fast reader, naturally. I can't really slow myself down, or I get distracted. I don't know if it's an ADHD thing. I'm fairly confident the memory thing is an ADHD thing, because I don't remember anything. Like, people that have, like, memories of their childhood, what is that like? Because I don't. I have, like, a blur of my past. And if somebody mentions something, I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that thing, but I don't remember details at all. Like, I could not just, like, that's why whenever somebody's like, oh, tell me something interesting about yourself, or tell me your favorite story about you as a kid, I don't know. I don't remember anything from my childhood. If you say some things, you might trigger a memory, but I cannot just, like, pull a memory out of my head. I can't do it. So, I don't know, I just keep seeing people all the time that are like, oh, if you read 150 books in a year, like, obviously you're not actually reading those books, you're just skimming them, and you're not engaging critically, and you don't remember anything you read. I mean, first of all, again, why are we judging what other people read? Like, that's stupid. But second of all, I could read 3 books a year or 300 books a year. I'm gonna remember the same level of detail, which is none. So, there's that. And controversial opinion number 12, this is the one that I'm most scared to talk about. So, I'm not mad that Jacob imprinted on Renesmee, and I don't think Renesmee is a terrible name. Please don't hate me. I'm not gonna elaborate on that one. I'm gonna end the video now, so be nice in the comments, and I will see y'all in the next video. Goodbye.